Hi, everyone. I'm Arry, chair of the Cascadia Blockchain Council and also your host for the Blockchain Underground meetups. I'm also the co-host of Windshield Time, where this video will be posted. We have a weekly meetup every Friday from 12 to 1 p.m. PST. Sometimes we have guests, sometimes we meet up as a community and just hang out. So come join us. You can join on the meetup group, Blockchain Underground, and I hope to see you sometime. In this particular AMA, we had Maggie Xu, CEO and founder of MetaSpace, and she came and answered all sorts of questions about the NFT world, NFTs, the marketplace, how do you mint them, what's the marketplace look like, the regulations, setting one up. So if you want to learn more of that, definitely check out this video, and I hope you learn as much as I did about the world of NFTs. Thanks for listening and joining us, and I hope you'll subscribe and stay in touch and join us one of these Fridays. Thanks, everyone. All right. So I think more people will be joining as we speak, but I think we should just get started because we only have now 53 minutes. And we have our guest, Maggie Xu, here. And so I thought we should just start with Maggie, can you introduce yourself? How did you get into the show? And how did you end up with NFTs? And
Sure, yeah. So very, very happy to be here and to meet everyone. It's nice to see faces. You know, it's a two-way interaction instead of just kind of me speaking. Yeah, so my background is actually not in tech. I used to be a lawyer. I used to be a corporate lawyer. And so, you know, my background is really business, law, shareholder agreements, mergers and acquisitions, a very typical 9-to-5 kind of job or longer hours. And I quickly realized that I was a little too creative for the legal industry. Like I would see the firm partners do things a certain way, and I would offer suggestions, and they would basically just shut me down and say, you know, wait till you have 7 years under your belt and then come and give us suggestions. So that was kind of the hint I got that, okay, maybe this is not the right industry for me. This is back in 2016, 2017. So I did a bit of soul searching, did some backpacking, and I actually stumbled upon the concept of smart contract and blockchain. This is back in 2007. A friend I was staying my house decided to give me an Ethereum as part of a thank you. And I was like, what is that? Anyway, so having the legal background, I kind of understood the importance of smart contract right away. You know, if two people enter into some agreement, you don't really need middle parties like lawyers or accountants to keep track of, is this condition met? You have some sort of computer code, and then the money will basically flow from my crypto wallet into that other person's crypto wallet. I thought that was such a genius concept and got very interested and basically went to all the conferences and meetups I could find on blockchain at that time. This is early 2017, before the whole space blew up. And that's where I met Anthony. Anthony is one of the co-founder of Ethereum, which is very interesting to work with someone at that level. And I got into his company, which is called Jack's Crypto Wallet. And it's a big company. It's, you know, very popular globally. We have about 2 million downloads worldwide. Okay, should I continue? Okay, all right. Yeah, in terms of user adoption. And so I learned a lot in the company, just, you know, working with different types of partners in different industries, primarily in fintech industry, but also in different industries. And then last year is when I got very, very interested in NFT. I kind of saw this big wave coming after the whole DeFi wave and started diving into it. You know, Rarible, I thought did such an amazing job just making the NFT space more friendly. But the thing with Rarible or other NFT platforms is that you still need a cryptocurrency wallet to log in. It's still a decentralized app. It's not like a mobile app that you can just download on your phone. And for a lot of the users, you still have to have Ethereum or USDT, some kind of cryptocurrency to even buy these NFT. And so I would say for your everyday person, there's still a big hurdle to get into the space. And I think that's what's really stopping this industry from the mainstream adoption. And so as I'm starting to dive more into it, I got very interested to take my learnings from Jax. And at Jax, I went through the business development role, the marketing role. I actually organized one of the largest launch parties. So we had 1,000 people on a yacht in New York City. And we gave away 2 cars as a thank you to the community. One car was wrapped in Bitcoin, one car was wrapped in Ethereum. Everyone had a bracelet around their arm. And basically the bracelet is lit the whole time, the whole night, based on the music, based on different vibe, you have a different color on your bracelet. And then near the end, the bracelet would dim off one by one. And 10 last standing members come on the stage. And then just a very exciting moment as we're kind of seeing like who's that last 2 winners, and they go home with 2 cars. Anyway, so that was that party. And then I got very interested on the product side, like how do we design an app or just any sort of app experience for someone that they come in, they kind of are already familiar with the user interface right away, instead of needing to learn something else. And I think that's really important when we have an emerging technology, a new technology, to bring it to that end user. Anyway, so I got very interested in working with the product team. And eventually I became the CEO of the company, just leading the product team, leading, a lot of the visions I see for the company. And so I took all of that learning and applied it to the NFT space. And so right now, I'm working on a new type of social media platform that's using NFT technology. And what that means is any creators or any brands can come in and basically they can turn their digital work or their digital collection into an NFT. And after they turn it into an NFT, it's really a way to empower them to have a new revenue stream and also a new way to engage your community. So let's say I'm Taylor Swift and I come in here and, right now my music, if it's just on Spotify or SoundCloud, there's a particular revenue model. And, platforms like, the central platforms, I would say, take a big cut out of your revenue model. But in the NFT space, it's actually very transparent. And the cut is actually, I would say, 1/10 or not even of the traditional model. And so we're just empowering these creators to have a new revenue stream, a new way to engage with your community. And we do it in such a easy and accessible way for the everyday person that they can come in and they kind of understand the app right away and they can start using it. So I would say that's, I'm going to stop there. That's a little intro about myself and also the platform.
Yeah, it's been pretty amazing watching you go through all those different experiences and come into the NFT space. And, she also, Maggie does a lot of NFT, I guess, AMA type things on YouTube. You're always talking on YouTube and sharing about it. So it's been really, really enlightening. Maybe I'll open it up to the floor. Who wants to ask questions about NFTs, or I'll just dive in? I know you guys have questions.
All right, Arry, why don't we just dive in? Oh, actually, I think someone posted in the chat.
Yeah, links to your YouTube, Maggie.
Oh, so I would say right now the YouTube channel is still in its early stage.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to post the link to it.
Sure. I think it's good to be early, like, being early to a party, you get to like spend some quality time with the host before everybody arrives. And so it's good to like be part of someone's journey early.
I would just say it's very raw. Okay. So word of caution to everyone. It is very raw. I think I didn't spend that much time just because of the project and personal matters. Yeah. So word of caution before you click into it.
Do you have a link to your current NFT, the project?
So we're in stealth and we're planning to launch next month.
Next month?
Yeah. And we have some big partnerships that's lining up. So very excited. Indie luxury fashion space and also indie music events space. So it's a very interesting mix, luxury fashion with music artists and how we can bring it together and create a new experience for everyone.
Amazing. I guess, do you have to do like typical crypto companies get set up in like the Cayman Islands and Switzerland foundations and stuff like that? Do you have to do stuff like that to do an NFT company?
No. So you mean from the regulation perspective?
Yeah.
So I would say right now right now the regulation is still very unclear around NFT. It's not like a fintech product where it's like, okay, maybe it's a security. Around NFT, I would say it's still very vague, depending on how you structure the NFT. Like there's a lot of nuance that goes into it. And so in terms of operating a platform, and also we're completely decentralized. So we don't hold on to user money. We are completely removed from the security aspect. And so, it's not as important to incorporate in a place like Switzerland as a result.
So it's more like a platform or like a marketplace where you're bringing together buyers and sellers and then providing a platform experience.
Yeah, exactly. So, for anyone that's interested to sign up for our next month's release, can actually, you know what, like if you can just type your email in a chat right now, I will record it. I'll put it on our beta user list. And basically we're opening up slowly. So at first it will be invite only. So if you are early on the list, you will be invited earlier. And then because we want to make sure, like I think for any type of social media platform, building the right community is the most important thing. And so we want to be very careful, very strategic in terms of building that initial community and then opening up slowly. And you'll be having the chance to, invite some of your friends if you feel like you like this platform.
Amazing. I see emails popping in. Woohoo. I see a hand up. Marina, would you like to ask a question? And I'll mute myself.
When would I not? I have a couple of questions. One, so as you mentioned, the legal structure or the governance structure really does not exist for NFTs. As a lawyer, once they institute laws that might be, and I don't know what you do because you're in stealth mode, but they might be counter what you're trying to do, how are you planning to deal with it? And the second question I have, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'll just do one by one. So first of all, like nothing is legal advice here. Okay. Like I'm no longer a lawyer. Do not take anything I say as legal advice. I'm just saying like as the current state of the industry, because it's such a new industry, I think a lot of the regulators are still trying to wrap their head around it. And so right now there is no clear law to say that NFTs are securities. And a lot of the devils are in the details. And, for us, I think we've designed our platform, like the architecture of the platform in a way that we are removed from that money side. We rely on our partners to take care of that side. What we do is we're just creating a beautiful user experience by creating this platform that's very accessible to the everyday user.
And the second question I have for you is, I'm not as deep in NFT world, but certainly in a DeFi world, even if a new company creates something that doesn't exist, since it's all open source, the older and more established and successful DeFi company in the same space can immediately copy it and still have a larger user base because they're older and more established.
Yeah, so I would say this is not just like a DeFi or NFT topic. This is for every single company out there. If you have a great idea, other people are going to copy your idea. Like that's just how the world is. But there are ways to, protect yourself against that. And I think by lining up with the right partners is very important, because people can copy the idea. They can't steal the partners you have as easily, especially if there's already a lot of alignment between you and a partner. And so, that's what we're doing. Like I said, on both the luxury fashion side and also on the music event side, like we have some big partnerships lined up. It's not always the easiest, but it definitely pays off in the long run. And then the second thing is, even in terms of the user experience, we put so much thoughts into how do we design in a way where for the user, they take as little clicks as possible to get to where they want to go. So unless a platform comes out and copy us exactly screen by screen, they're going to have a different way of doing that user experience. And so that's another way we're protecting ourselves. And then also, like, once we establish that branding, that username, we put ourselves into the world, which we plan to do in early September. So next month, we're going to do a soft launch, do a release, test it out with our initial beta users. If everything goes well, September is when we really go into the world. We go hard on the press release, on the whole social marketing campaign. And, if users know you as the first in the market to do this, they're going to remember your name. And so for anyone copying us, that's another tactic.
I have a question.
Yeah,
So wanted to understand a little bit better in terms of how you are trying to establish that community from the get-go, because you said, establishing that from the very beginning is important for everything, for your brand, for the users themselves as well. So like, what are some strategies that you are working on to make sure that you reach out to the right people and get the right types of community users for your beta launch and so on and so forth?
So Angie, that is a great question. And also I love your background too. That's very nice.
Thank you.
On my my Zoom background. So in terms of establishing the right community, because for us as a marketplace, it's both sides, right? It's the creators and also the collectors. So for us, we focus a lot on the creators. We want to empower the creators. They can be, a music artist, or they can be, let's say, a fashion brand. I consider both as creators, like loosely defined. So we really focus on the user experience for them. And then we would rely on them to bring their community into our platform on the other end. And so, for creating this right community to start, a lot of it is making sure that it's exclusive. These brands or these artists, they feel safe to bring their existing community onto our platform. And there's a lot of brainstorming you can do with these brands to make sure that they do feel that way. And then once they bring their community into our platform, then that community has the ability to invite some of their friends into the platform as well. And that is a great way to make sure that you are setting up the community that is in line with your brand. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, all right.
All right, next up, Mark. Hand up.
I have to unmute, I guess, right? Hey, this sounds really interesting. I was curious, what really struck me was what you were talking about, sort of onboarding or bringing, making this much more accessible to people. I think that's where people find this onboarding experience difficult. What are you kind of working on to simplify that experience, to make this a little bit easier for people to accept and to get on board with?
Got it. Yeah, so I can definitely dive into that. So right now, most of the NFT platforms out there, and the biggest ones by volume are OpenSea, Rarible, Nifty Gateway, Maker's Place. Those are platforms by volume. Most of them require the user to have a cryptocurrency wallet to use their platform because they're a decentralized app. And we don't. What we do is we say, if you have an email or you have an Apple ID, we allow you to use the platform that way. So we make the login very easy and very non-crypto or blockchain know-how needed in that case. So that's one way we make it very easy. And then the second way is, instead of just accepting cryptocurrency to buy and sell your NFT, we also allow you to use your credit card or your bank cards to do that. And so, yeah, I see Arry's like, yay. I know. So I think that's going to be a game changer. Like for the everyday person, even if you don't have Ethereum, you don't even know what it is. If you have a credit card and you see a piece you like, it's that easy. You can just do it right inside the app. So those are the, primarily the two ways. We make it very easy and accessible.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds interesting. I like that. Makes it much simpler.
If you're doing it, I'm sorry, if you're doing it through credit card source, then you become centralized and not decentralized. You're controlling who does it and so forth and so on. So the whole idea of decentralization and therefore blockchain is kind of being thrown in a window, right?
So I'm glad you raised that point, because some other people will. We are actually completely decentralized. We don't process the credit card ourselves. We rely on our partners to do that, and they have, you know, the right license. I think you need, you know, different type of license in each of the jurisdictions, each of the geographic jurisdictions, to make sure that they accept credit card and bank card. So we rely on the partners to do that. And then for us, you know, everything the user uploads in terms of, you know, a video or a digital collection, we actually put it on a decentralized server to make sure that information is always there. It is not on our server. And then also for the user, when they buy an NFT, they're the only ones who have access to that NFT. So we as a platform have zero access to any of the NFTs that people buy and sell. And that is why we are completely decentralized. The way we make it, like, this is actually the tricky part, right? Like, how are you decentralized, but you still make it easy for people to use a credit card? And this is something we've thought about a lot. And, you know, after a very long time of researching the market, seeing what's out there, designing this whole architecture, is where we can be where we are today.
So users can pay with both credit card and or crypto?
Yes,
both.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Maggie, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, this is Jay, the luggage donkey, the other half of Windshield Time. Hey, going back to the regulatory landscape, like, it seems like to me it's a much less of a hurdle, because it's not necessarily fintech, it's virtual items that are bought and sold, and they're universally unique, you know, because of the signatures and everything, the cryptographically secured, you know, way that you know, crypto is done. And so, I mean, isn't it more like you know, a virtualized version of the like baseball cards? And so, I mean, in the news, there's been so much about NFTs being sold for thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars, and you know, it doesn't seem like there's that much maybe regulatory scrutiny that's being put on it at the moment, at least.
So that's exactly it. You know, a lot of the concept around finance isn't directly applicable to this digital collectible, right? Like, you're right, like baseball cards, no one's really regulating how you buy and sell baseball cards. And if you think about a digital version of it, why would you? I think it's just for the regulators, they are, you know, trying to get your head around, like, there's a very gray area between, you know, something that if you buy it for $100 and then you can sell it for, let's say, $1 million, in the extreme sense, that could potentially be an investment. But on the other hand, if I'm buying it because I like this digital collectible, and, you know, why would you regulate me for wanting to get a piece of digital collectible? So it's a very, very blurred line. And I think this is where the regulators are trying to figure out some sort of way or some sort of test to make sure that they can. But because this industry is so young, like it really just started booming this year. Yeah, I think we'll probably still need more time before the regulators are able to come in and say, okay, we know exactly how to distinguish between, you know, the investment security piece versus just a digital collectible piece.
And then don't forget about the tax man, because if you, whatever gain you have, I'm sure, you know, every tax regime is going to want to collect their slice of the pie. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Huh.
Yeah. And Day, I think the last time we saw you and Arry is at Consensus in New York, right? That was, yeah, 2014. Yeah, that was the year we threw that big party.
Yeah, on the yacht. We saw you on the yacht too. Yeah.
Exactly. Interesting. Yeah. So I would say definitely we are just getting started, this entire space. And we've seen, you know, the art side of how NFT can play out, but there's so many other industries where NFT can really play out. And yeah, and this is where like I'm very excited to, you know, dive into a technology and make it very accessible to the everyday person.
I mean,
Go ahead.
well, I mean, so like kind of like a little bit of a tangent, but all of this gray area, you know, around NFTs now that I'm, you know, just really now learning about, it lends again to the idea that like Bitcoin is so new. It's only, you know, in the grand scheme of things, when gold's been around for 5,000 years and, you know, Bitcoin has only been around since 2009. It was birthed in 2009 and Ethereum is even younger. I wish that there was a way to actually pass time relevant laws and regulations just for crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, you know, NFTs, DeFi, and not trying to put square pegs in round holes.
Yeah, like fit it into the existing.
Yeah. It's like so much work and effort is going into trying to fit it into old sort of, you know, models of laws and securities and all this kind of stuff. It's like, it's so different. Bitcoin is so different. And it's so all encompassing in so many different ways. It seems like to me, there should just be brand new laws, you know, to account for, you know, all of its features and benefits and properties and, you know, all that stuff, you know. Is my opinion.
So I think the one thing that gets me very excited about this is we're literally inventing new business models for, you know, many types of players, many industries, right? Like the ability for, you know, let's say an artist to say, hey, not only do I get a cut of how much my painting sells, I now get a cut on every future sale of this painting. Like that is never heard of. And that's what NFT allows them to do. So I think it's so interesting to, you know, think about all these new business models and how our lives are changed as a result. Like same with music. If you can have not just like an online concert, but now you can have a new way to engage with your audience through the use of NFT. Like we're looking at some of the music ticketing through NFT, and you know that is such an interesting space. Now a lot of these big DJs or big celebrities might use this technology because their fans will like it better, and you know they will have a new way to say, look, not only can you buy a ticket to my concert, you now can have this collectible that will sit in your wallet forever. And you can have it as a memoir of this experience. Like that is just a very cool and very new way. So I think, yeah, definitely we're at the start of something very big. And I think this, you know, NFT or blockchain technology is going to be like the internet in terms of the impact it can have on all of us.
Yes.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Very early.
I have a question for Maggie. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, Randy had his hand up. So let's do Randy and then we'll go to Brian, okay?
Yeah.
Hey, Maggie, so I know there's other, I mean, there's a lot of different projects going on trying to tackle this space. Like Luxo is one that I know that are doing and I think he's the founder was part of Ethereum as well. Do you, as far as differentiating, it sounds like the focus for what you're trying to accomplish is just the usability to get into the platform. Is that correct? Okay.
So I would say the biggest differentiator would be the usability. And, you know, we're also on mobile. A lot of the existing platforms are web-based. If you think about how people interact, like I have my phone with me all the time, but not necessarily my computer. So I think when we see usability, like it really touches on many different aspects.
Yeah.
And then another big differentiator is that most of the NFT platforms right now focus on that one transaction. It's a marketplace or it's an auction platform. We focus on the ongoing conversation between the creators and also their community.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I did NBA Topshots early last summer, and so it's interesting. As far as having an app, that's my next question. Not to go to the technical details, but like KYC, what's happening with Topshots is that there is some article before that they're looking to your point of, is it a security, right? Because of the volume going in, and actually, you know, taking money out. I could take it out, but I could do certain increments, so on and so forth. And do you see, is there KYC when you sign into the app? I mean, to at least, okay.
So yeah, so like, because of the way we're designing the platform, we're not positioning ourselves as a security platform, like not at all. We're staying as far away from that as possible.
Yeah, got it. Okay, thank you.
Brian.
Hey, Maggie, thanks so much for your time. Like you, I'm a former corporate lawyer turned blockchain entrepreneur. So I wanted to learn more about how you think about NFTs and the convergence with existing intellectual property regimes. So copyrights, trademarks, patents, are NFTs like something that you think can exist in addition to those protections, or is this something completely independent and new?
Interesting. So I was actually on a panel a few weeks ago with a bunch of IP lawyers discussing NFT. And I'll just give like a quick summary. So basically, you know, we talked about when someone is buying an NFT, are they buying that piece of artwork, or are they just buying a right to that piece of artwork on a blockchain? And it really is the latter, right? Like you're not actually owning that piece of artwork, you're buying a right to it. And I think, you know, a lot of the IP protections and, you know, just like a lot of the copyrights are going to be explored more in the next couple years as more people are going into this industry, as, you know, some of the big scammers are coming out. Like I think right now a lot of platforms are already starting to think about this issue. Like for us, we're actually looking to partner with someone that can make sure that there is anti-forgery feature on our platform. So like when for example, a luxury fashion brand we're working with, when they are launching an NFT, we can actually authenticate that piece of NFT is created by them by having them sign like a digital signature. So that would be like an interesting way to go about this IP aspect. Yeah, like what kind of platform are you working on? You said you're a turned blockchain entrepreneur.
Yeah, I work on Algorand. So right now working on smart contracts, finding ways to embed legal knowledge to validate smart contracts. So like all different types of smart contracts, but a lot of them aren't legally binding agreements. So just trying to bring those two things together. But you mentioned counterfeit. I'd like to know more about that because like if I screenshot like this video right now, I can hash that and have an NFT for it. And then I can just screenshot another one and then hash that. And I could have two NFTs for two things that might be the same. So I'm wondering, how do you think about that, right? Because that's the problem with counterfeits is like, I could screenshot the Mona Lisa and then I could screenshot a picture of the Mona Lisa. So how do you know which NFT is associated with the real Mona Lisa?
Yes. Yeah. So I mean, I feel like we're already seeing that problem in the industry right now. And when I say like anti-forgery, it just means that for the buyer, you trust the source that you buy the NFT from. So for example, if it's Mona Lisa, you would, if Da Vinci is alive right now, you would trust the Mona Lisa that was sold or created by the Da Vinci account, right? And so just much like how we buy goods in the real world, we trust which store or which brand we buy it from. And, the same applies in the NFT world. So a lot of the trust will come from the ultimate seller. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Is there, well, I guess I have everyone's email. I was going to say, like, there's an interesting community. We can keep this conversation going afterwards. Yeah, I have everyone's email. So like we might even just send out an initial email newsletter just to keep everyone in the loop. Like we're starting to build our community as well. Yeah, and I think a lot of these, like a lot of the points we touched on, for example, today, are points that a lot of people want to know, right? Like, what about IP rights? What about a regulation? Like, what about what are the differentiators from the other platforms? So, yeah.
And we could also have you on again, like once you launch, and you could like demo, and we could ask more questions about like, oh, so we see how you handle this. It'd be like a really interesting case study. So I have a question. NFTs, like you mentioned, are new. Basically, the NFT year began in 2021. And so if you look at the adoption curve and how long things take to get to basically mass adoption, you're looking at years, a long journey, or maybe you don't see it that way. I just would be curious about your perspective on how quickly do you think NFTs will go mainstream compared to like blockchain adoption, which has been really slow, or crypto adoption, Bitcoin adoption?
I actually think NFT will take the entire cryptocurrency market mainstream. Like I think NFT, because it's so visual, it's so universal. It literally applies to every single industry. Like so long you have a digital piece of work, you can turn it into an NFT. And that nature is what will bring the entire cryptocurrency world to the mainstream. And, there's obviously a few hurdles along the way. And actually, that's what we want to tackle, right? Like, how do we make this technology so accessible to the everyday person who may not have a cryptocurrency wallet, who may not even have crypto, who don't know anything about blockchain, but they're interested to learn more about the tech. So much like, with the internet, if you can build a very easy browser like the Google Chrome, then anyone can click the Chrome and they can start using the internet. Same thing, if we can build a very easy platform, then anyone can open a platform, download the app, and then they can start interacting with NFT. So I think the timeline for mainstream adoption, I would say, is just the next year or two. Like it's very soon.
Yeah, I mean, I was hearing you talk and I was like, oh, I'm about to launch a blockchain bootcamp course, a 3-weeker now versus the 12-weeker. And I was going to give out NFT certificates to those that graduate. What would you suggest as the best way to make that happen? Like, is that something that would happen through your platform, or are there like good NFT maker minting sites to turn to, or how would I even begin?
Yeah, so another very unique feature about our platform I haven't touched. There's actually a couple unique features. Okay. So one is we're actually very environmentally conscious as well. I know that's on a lot of people's mind. You see in the news, it's like, oh, blockchain is, it can be quite damaging, like running all the nodes. So number one, I would say our current landscape is also very damaging. Like it's not just blockchain, like even us, going on a website is causing electricity, which will have that environmental impact, right? So I feel like there's too much attention just on the blockchain negative sides, but also we are very conscious, and the blockchain we picked is not Ethereum. It is actually, it is actually a layer 2 solution. So it will be like almost carbon neutral when it comes to the environmental impact, which is just like, yeah, a lot of people that we've spoken to cares a lot about it. So that is another distinction factor. And I would say we will be one of the first NFT marketplaces that can say that we're very environmentally conscious. And then the second point, I forgot, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Your question is, oh yes, we're creating the NFT. So we actually make it so that for the people that are whitelisted on our platform as a creator, you can create NFT with $0 transaction fee. Okay, like that is very big also. Because right now, you know, depending on the Ethereum congestion rate, it can cost upwards of $100 just to mint an NFT. And, you know, like, I think that's just not feasible for anyone that wants to experiment with this technology. And again, like, when I say we're here to empower the creators and the brands, like, we're thinking about every single step. So, you know, that's a big part of what we're thinking. And so we make it so that anyone who comes in, if they're white labeled as a creator, and they will be able to make their NFTs with $0 transaction fee.
So then are NFTs on one platform transferable to NFTs on another platform? Like if I want to take my collection of NFTs with me, that happens through the wallet side of things that I own, right?
Yes, so that is very possible. So you as the user, you have the ability to extract your private keys because you own the NFT, we don't. So if you want to move the NFT to somewhere else, you're more than happy to do so.
Okay. Oh, interesting. More questions. I think we can take on maybe one or so more questions and then we'll wrap it up.
So if you didn't pick Ethereum, which blockchain did you decide to use?
Polygon.
I'm sorry?
Polygon.
Oh, Polygon. Oh, okay.
It is one of the, I would say, the very popular layer 2 solutions right now. We actually looked at a bunch of different layer 2 solutions. There's actually another company out here. So I'm from Toronto. There's another company out here called Metis. They just released their layer 2 solution as well. And we were talking with their community also, but we picked Polygon just because they've been around. There is that trust factor there already. So give me one sec.
Polygon, that was like, they did like security tokens, or is that, oh, that's Polymath, that's not Polygon.
Yeah, I think Polygon is Matic is their token, M-A-T.
Right, they're very, very popular.
Yeah, I didn't know they were actually a layer 2 solution.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, so it sounds like we're coming down to the last question. Also, Mark Pace, thank you for the message. I will reach out to you. We haven't raised yet, but I feel like, you know, when the right strategic partner comes, we will be able to do a raise. So yeah, I'll reach out to you and then find out more information about it.
Yeah, when you're raising, let me know too.
Cool, sounds good.
West Coast, we're interested. Don't forget about us over here.
It's always such a question too, right? Like when you're talking about raising, you want to make sure that you don't dilute your valuation too early. But at the same time, like if you see strategic investors, it's like, okay, I can see how the value line up. Then it's like, yeah, of course I want to work together with you. So yeah, there's definitely that piece.
Awesome, amazing. I guess maybe to wrap it up, unless someone has questions, what's you have the launch coming up, so maybe what's the next like 6 to 12 months look like for you, Maggie? And then how do people keep in touch with you? And I know you have your emails and we can follow you on the very brand new rough YouTube channel, but what's the best way to keep in touch and stalk you?
Yeah, okay, let me type out my email. So it's just maggie@ourmeta.space. And I would say, yeah, the best way if you want to stay in touch or if you have any thoughts around this, it's just to email me. And, you know, we'll probably start going out of our stealth mode in the next couple weeks, like very soon. And once we have our social media all set up, you can follow us on our social media also. So our project is called a MetaSpace.
Maggie, what's your name on Telegram?
So I don't use Telegram as much, just because there's so many social channels right now on Telegram, Signal, WhatsApp, Facebook, just I would say the best way if you have like a business inquiry is just to email me. That's the best way to stay in touch.
Yeah, and then is MetaSpace one word or two words?
One word, like this, MetaSpace.
And are you physically located on the East or West Coast?
So we're in Toronto, so East Coast.
Yep, Toronto. Yummy, yummy.
I love West Coast. I actually love California. Almost wanted to move there a few years ago.
Ah, come to Seattle.
I haven't visited Seattle, but I've heard so many good things. So yeah, Arry, we're definitely due for a visit sometime.
Yeah, come visit. Our kids can play. All right, and then I guess I don't know. We still have like 9 more minutes. So I don't want to like rush anybody if there's more questions or.
So I actually have to go.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's so nice, being here. Thank you again for the invite, Arry, and also thank you everyone for your questions. Like I feel like a couple folks obviously, have already been pretty deep in the space. Like Randy, congrats on that NBA Topshot purchase. I'm sure that was a great investment. And Brian, yeah, same with you. Like, a lawyer turned entrepreneur in blockchain space. Sounds great. Yeah, so, and Mark also, like I'll reach out to you from the investment end. Yeah, so, very nice speaking here. And yeah, let's keep in touch. We will definitely send out a email newsletter in the next couple weeks on the updates.
Awesome. Well, congratulations in advance to your launch. And thank you so much for spending time with us, Maggie.
Okay, well, take care, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thanks, Maggie.
Thank you.
Bye.
Great to see you.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, I'll let you guys all go early today. And then next week we're doing the crypto mining AMA with Whit Gibbs. So that should be really, really interesting. Yeah. And, I don't know if you looked up Compass Mining, but they're all about anybody can be a miner. You don't even need a rig. And so, come with your questions on how that happens and check them out.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Arry.
Excellent. Thank
Good
you.
to see you again.
All
Appreciate it.
Bye, guys.
Have a good weekend.
Everyone.
Irina.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks for tuning in. This podcast is non-technical, fun, informative way to learn about money, Bitcoin, blockchains, crypto, and digital assets. This podcast is not financial advice, and your reactions are your total and complete responsibility, y'all. Now, thanks again, and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
Stuck inside.